Greeting everybody, Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, as always, we have Conrad as Arnold Jekyll.
I am Batman.
We have Michael as Tharval Eldon.
Good evening.
We have Jace as Brother Gadden.
Banana cake, anybody?
We have Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Hello.
Mark as Lance. And sounding very sultry and sexy, we have Vix as Saren Sanguine.
How do, ladies and gentlemen?
You sound so vixeny, eh?
It's like that episode of Friends where Phoebe gets. It's like that episode of Friends where Phoebe gets the cold and she's like, "My sticky shoes."
I've already been asked to sing that. No, I'm not.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, for Vix, not purpose for her. I can't even think of the word I was thinking of for her. Not
Benefit.
Benefit. That's the word I'm thinking of. Can't do English today.
Words.
Yeah,
words today. Hard.
Words hard. Yes, for Vicky's Vic's benefit, and for those who weren't watching last week, the group made their way into the Veil Chamber with the artifacts that they had chosen from a couple of sessions ago. They set up, Brother Gadden set up a sentinel in the middle of the room who was there to basically look out for any trouble while they were doing the ritual. Each one of them, bar Ciravel and Gregor, have then made their way up to the like the dais or the sort of where the altar is, looked in the mirror, taken a drink from the goblet of desire, and put a artifact onto the scales. They've all then had their respective encounters with the Whispering Veil, trying to tempt them to do things that they made mistakes in the past and sort of to carry on with those mistakes. And they've sort of, thankfully, with some what's the word? Some trepidation, I guess. There was some people who were potentially going to go the other way, but managed to get talked round to do the right thing for the greater good. And so everybody has done their thing. Everybody is sort of within their sort of kind of dream state, I guess, bar you, Saren. So what we need to do is you need to get me the... you sent me a message on WhatsApp with your lie and your... let me just get them on here. So,
Uncomfortable truth.
Uncomfortable truth, that's it, yeah. Okay, so we'd sort of made some slight changes, I think, but there was one that you were sort of pretty adamant about. So I want you to give me your uncomfortable truth. What's your uncomfortable truth?
I feel I am wholly responsible for my mother's death. If I hadn't left the house,
Okay.
I would have been there and I would have been able to save her.
And what's your personal lie? So I think we had you had one, but I wasn't sort of too sure about it. So I think
like being jealous of Tharavel because he grew up in a basically better off.
Yeah, so you're basically, you saw let's see what we've got here. Let me just see what I've got here. I have one here. So thinking, or did we change it? You could have. Oh yeah. So Jelly grew up in a higher caste with a noble family. Your family had to scratch a living out of the dirt and land. Obviously, you saw Tharaval, who, as much as you appreciate, he is a noble character, and you know he sort of is good at what he does. He was brought up with a silver spoon in his mouth for all intents and purposes with regards to that. Whereas he was of the high caste, he had all the chances to do what he wanted to do. He got to do what he wanted to do, whereas you had to scratch a living, and you somewhat resent him for it, in that he's had more in life than you, and as much as he's lost, you feel like your loss is more because he at least had the cushion of his comfortable life, whereas you've had a bad life and lost stuff as well. So
yeah.
Okay.
That still sounds like the truth. So what's the lie?
Okay, it's not, because the lie is sort of that she's not
Jealous.
she's not
She's not okay with it.
she's not jealous about it. She's sort of telling herself that it's okay, it's fine, but the lie is that she resents him. She resents him.
Sorry, Tharavel.
Sorry, not sorry.
Okay, so
It's okay. I'm better than you.
And fighting words.
Don't take this the wrong way, but fuck you.
Okay,
Brilliant.
so you walk up to the mirror, and I need a personal item, so something personal to your character that you're going to place on the scales.
I take a necklace from around my neck, and it's a small, very badly burnt, damaged key,
Okay.
and I place that on the scales.
Okay, so you put, as you're sort of kind of sipping the chalice and you're looking into the mirror, you place the key onto the scales. Like everybody else last week, like instantaneously stuff happens and you sort of kind of zone out a bit and you go and take a seat with everybody else. Within that time, you find yourself in your village, or in your town even, and within the town I'm gonna just check just make sure I'm getting this right. Yeah, just one moment. What was your? I just want to check because I think we went back and forth. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
What was your desire? Your desire was once more than anything is revenge for father's death. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So you find yourself in your village again. It's similar to the dream that you had previously. You see your family, and you're in the room, and your mother's basically your father's gone out hunting or farming or whatever he was doing at that point in time, and your mother's asked you to stay. She says, "I need you, and Saren, I need you. I've many things to do, and you need to help me. And I can't do this on my own. And your father's away, and what if somebody came in and I'm an old woman, I wouldn't be able to help. So you need to stay."
And she doesn't want to stay. She's too mixed up in other things outside, but do I detect at all that this is like the hallucination, or do I fully believe that I am back?
Well, so you'll be as she's sort of kind of saying this to you, you'll hear a voice in your ear. The voice in your ear will say, "She's just an old woman. She doesn't understand what you need. Leave. All you need to do is walk out the door, and you can have your freedom and your fun. You can do what you need to do. Just walk out the door."
I look at the door and I look at my mother and I want to go. Oh my God, I want to go. I've got things planned. I've not particularly nice things, but there are things I want to be doing, but I can't. And it bugs me that I can't, like, my feet are disobeying me. I can't even bring myself to walk to the door, even though I know I should and could and I want to, but I just can't do it.
The whisper in your ear says, "If you leave, I can give him to you. You would like that, wouldn't you?"
Know exactly who him is. And I take a couple of steps towards the door.
Your mother sort of
You
looks
hear
at your mother looks at you and says, Saren, please bring in the bowls. I'm going to wash up for tonight's meal. I'll see you shortly."
Yeah, sure. And I kind of feel like my body's betraying me at this moment in time because, oh my God, I want that. And I want that so badly. But it's like my feet are made of lead.
Just
they don't want
walk
to move.
out the door, and here's yours. I will give him to you. A gift.
We're still watching this, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, everybody who's being within the dream, everybody else has seen. So basically, you are basically. You would have seen this as an outward sort of visage, and then would have been sort of dragged into the person that is you yourself. Whereas the rest of them who are sort of around you, you don't see them, but they can see you and can hear what's going on.
Okay.
You hear somebody clearing their throat. No, no.
You don't understand.
The whisper says, "Why is it those damn Eldin children can do what they want, but you have to stay home and do all the things that your mother tells you. You can't have any fun. Look at them go." As the visage of the window appears, and you see Tharaval and Saravel and the sort of the Eldon family sort of walking down the main sort of kind of market street, all in their refinery and laughing and having a good time.
My hand kind of reaches out once more before the door. It's very, very hesitant, like almost like something else is guiding my hand towards the door. And then, like,
Yes.
I rumble and I say, "You know better than that."
Your audio, by the way, Mark, so it doesn't sound like it's coming through your microphone.
For God's sake.
Intimidation. So you hear you feel chastised.
knowing better isn't always wanting better.
Saren, sweetie. Time to make the right choice. You can flirt with this all you want, but you're just wasting time. You know what's going to happen anyway.
Sorry, can we actually see all that she's hearing or anything like that? Sorry, or
Yeah,
we can.
We're present but intangible.
Tharaval sort of he looks at Saren and he says that this image that you have had of our family and my upbringing, it is but an avatar. We were given a lot, but we were expected a lot of. Any successes were rarely celebrated as the next challenge was set for us. The happiness was brief at times. Responsibility was high. At times, I would have wished to be in your shoes rather than my own.
I chuckle and say, trust me, you would not have wished to be in my shoes.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom save. See how it goes. Okay. You start walking towards the door. You're slightly dismissive of the voice of Tharavol's. You know, you've had it hard. What does he understand of your trials? You can do what you want to do. You need to do what you want to do. The voice is telling you that if you leave, he can give you what you desire. Anybody else saying anything before she opens the door?
At this point, Gadden will be like, what do you actually expect to change once you open the door? You already know that your fate was sealed anyway. You're just giving in to a temptation, which only means that you're going to get stuck in here like a pathetic little elf that you are going to be. Why don't you just snap out of it, don't open the door, and pull your breeches together? Come, get out of here.
Don't listen to him. He knows not the pain that runs through your veins. He knows not what you need. Revenge, and I can give it to you. All you need to do is turn the handle.
And if you open the door, will you be happy once you've gotten your revenge? Will you be sated and knowing full well that you've done everything you wanted to do? And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. A creature of pure anger and spite. I don't think you're that person. It doesn't look good on you. You got pretty hair.
So what are your thoughts on his words?
When you met me. Was I not that person when you met me?
Oh, you were as well. I'm not saying that you are or you aren't. I just know you're better than this. You're not a base creature of wanton revenge. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it better than just opening a door and joining the children to have a little bit of mucky fun. No?
I stand there and I bite my lip because as much as I hate to admit he's right, Brother Gadden is right.
Okay.
If I were lucky enough to get my revenge, this isn't how I would do it.
Okay. Give me another wisdom, see if you can have advantage on it.
Doing it on the phone, so
Unfortunately not enough. You
Oy vey. Oh.
Okay.
this is gonna be painful.
So you open
I still have an inspiration point left. Can I spend that to make her re-roll by saying you? Basically, I'll say you know better than to think that revenge should cut. That revenge is an easy route and you know better than to listen to those craven whisperings. There are things which are wrong that we wish we could change, but there are also so many other reasons why revenge is dangerous, and you've probably seen a fair number of them in your travels. Why be so foolish as to take the easy road, knowing that you'll pay much more of a price than the person you revenge yourself on? It's not the way to take.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll let you have that. You can have the second save with the advantage, so you can have the 16. So you can pass. So the door's opening, and you can hear a sort of glee hiss sort of coming through as you're about to open it, but you sort of shake it off, and you close the door. You can say something if you wish.
If I were lucky enough to come across him, this is not how it would be done. This is
No.
not the way that I would do it.
You'd do a better job.
Exactly.
Besides, he's giving you a pauper's experience. If you want proper revenge, let's do it properly. You know? Let's get a pyre going, Get some mad cultists to sing some songs and, you know what I mean. Madness.
Mad cultists can never sing properly. It always ruins the mood.
Exactly, which is why it's good for revenge, not for us, for them.
Okay, so you as the sort of hiss of annoyance sort of kind of passes through, the sort of visage around you sort of evaporates into sort of a viscous smoke, and you find yourself sort of sitting with the rest on the chair. As this sort of happens, you all find yourself back in the room. Now let me get the. This it? No, it's not that. It was. Yes, that was the veil chamber. There you go. So we're on this. So you're back in your room, in the room, with. You're sitting on the chairs and you're looking at the central altar with the bowl, the veil of whispers, sitting on its in its center. The sentinel sort of is stood sentinel above you, sort of within the center of the room. But there's something odd about this. This isn't real. This feels like something is not right. As you're all sitting there looking at each other, the voice, the whisper that has been taunting you throughout each of your own dreams, sort of looks and says, "Look at you all. Look at you. Do you even know what this party is? Murderers, cowards, thieves, glory hunters, golds, merchants, all of you. You should be sick. Why would you want to carry on together? Look at each other. Look at what you are. Look at the truth in what this is. You have no desire to be here. So why stay?"
Out of character, I feel like I need to have a Gandalf moment where he like purges Grima Wormtongue from Theoden's head. He says, "You have no power here." Yeah, so I kind of wanted to, but I'm not. So
I spring from my chair and roar. We know who we are. We know why we're here, and we know why you are trying to break us. Get the hell away from us.
You hear a sort of with your sort of assurance and your confidence in your words, he sort of stutters slightly in his sort of let me think of this then. You want balance in this world. With all the light, there is always shadow. Take it away, and there is nothing. There is no balance. To take me away is to take balance from the world. Why would you do such a thing?
Because the balance is not even, and you want to tip it into your own benefit, but so many others will be harmed by it. You are broken. You need to be balanced yourself. So
Balanced. he
look
talks
yourself
up.
in the mirror and stop asking us to.
I have no need. I know who I am. I know what I can do. I have no need to look at myself. Unlike yourself, I am truthful. I have inner balance with what I can do. You all lie to yourselves. You all lie to each other. You do not.
Oops. Sorry. didn't
Go
mean
on,
to click
carry
that.
on.
I didn't mean to click that. No, carry on. Sorry.
Um,
It's just like
he says, but he said, and he sort of turns to, he turns to. Well, I suppose he doesn't turn because you don't see him, but he sort of looks. And he says, "Well, look at this cowardly halfling. Why is he even here? He doesn't want to be here, do you, halfling? You don't want to be a part of this party. All you care about is yourself, that stupid Jin, and your brother, who is probably dead. So why be here with us? Yes, you could just leave now and be safe. You endanger yourself. You endanger your brother by being here."
I will find him, and being with these people is a damn sight better than the places that I have been before. Now, will you shut the fuck up and get out of our heads?
Such a big man in such a small body. Why don't you just go back into your ring again, you fucking coward?
He is less a coward than you. I have known him for a short while, but I tell you, a man 10 times his size resides in that body.
Arno takes his ring. And where's the boy?
The ball's in front of you.
The bowl.
The ball, yeah.
Arno takes his ring. And he goes, "This thing?" And he just was it, aiming for the bowl.
It sort of pings off the ball, but then sort of kind of starts levitating in the middle of it, and then slowly sort of rests in the center of the ball. He laughs, and he sort of laughs and looks at, not looks at you, sort of says to you, "And you have this murderer here with you. He smiles. He gets joy from killing. I should employ him. He would be better here with me than with you. Why have someone like this with you when he is all but darkness himself?" Is aiming at Tharval, by the way.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. I was reading up my characters. Sorry, you have to say that again.
He's basically called you a murderer, and he says you because you smiled when you killed Gaius, and you felt that he deserved it. And he's basically saying you could join him instead because you are just darkness yourself.
Darval sort of he looks down, still not regretting the decision he made, but knowing that it was the right one. And he says, "I am no murderer. I've only killed those who have deserved it. Guileless, no matter his upbringing, no matter his past, no matter the good deeds that he did, endangered the lives of myself and my friends. And he was too much of a risk to keep alive. His death brought him peace. I am not a murderer. And if you continue on this way, your fate will be the same."
He laughs again, and you feel sort of kind of breath on your neck, Bartholomew. You're very quiet, wizard. Or should I call you thief? What would your family think of you now? You can leave now. All you care about is that book. All you care about is fame and fortune. You don't need these people. You could go now.
Yes, it's true. Perhaps I don't need them. But I find some comfort amongst them. And we're not here to walk away. We're here to make sure that you're a little more quiet in this world. That you shrink back to whatever shadow it is that you are and remain there, nothing more. Nothing less either, I suppose. Are you going to attempt something or just throw words around all day?
It's all he's got. Words.
It's a damn sight more than you, Lance, protector of the realm. What is your... All I see is dead bodies following you.
That's fine, because I've accepted that I can only ever do my best. And I've also realised that while there are a lot of bodies there, and most of them deserved it and hurt others for their own gain.
Finally, you feel his gaze upon you, Brother Gaddon, and he says, "And you, you know, the glory hunter, or maybe the coward. You had your own people to look after, and yet you left them. And here you are. And what have you got to say about that?"
So there's a funny thing. I think the cat's out of the bag that I'm not even from this plane of existence, but you remind me of a particular god from my realm. They call him the god of deception, and all he does is just in your ear like some human trying to befriend a little cat in the street, giving them whispers and promises of good times, only to be disappointed by their nature and the only fact that they want something from you and never to give anything back. I'm fine with it, you know? I know my people. They're strong people. They fuck shit up. I'm also fine with my company and here. I know this cause is great and just. I see the problem that they face here as well, and quite honestly, they could do with a hand. I'm pretty good. I'm very good. My hubris might be speaking here, but you know something? There is a will and a place and a divine justice and sense of will that is gravitating me towards telling you to say what everybody else has said and kind of shut the fuck up, but it's falling on deaf ears. So, what we're gonna do next is we're going to unshackle ourselves from this misery thing, because quite frankly, I think I might die of boredom before I die of anything else. And rid the so-called corruption from the ball so that the veil can actually carry on being the veil. So if you don't mind, it's bone past hair. We've got places to be, you know? Yeah?
He sort of erupts in frustration. Books and things around you start throwing around. You start getting sort of hit by objects within the room. You feel them hitting you. As this starts happening, you hear sort of Direlia's voice saying to you that you need to sort of recite the incantation, which I've pasted into the within the chat there. So it's as the waters flow with the chalice flow, reveal the truth that lies below. In the mirror's gaze, reflections glare, guide our path, dispel our fear. Scales of justice balance true, weight our hearts, in light imbue. Personal item, essence shown. By virtues and vices may it be known, sacred soil from earth's embrace, bring forth life, restore the grace. Dreamweaver seeds, our hope renewed, in veil of whispers plant the feud. Wash the soil in waters pure, cleanse the veil, our spirits sure. With unity and strength our voices raise, in harmony and in balance let the inkling of lights blaze. So she has you sort of chanting this. Now I need you to give me I will give you a wisdom save with advantage with the person who has the highest wisdom modifier.
That's me. That's
okay.
me with a 10.
Okay.
Adam.
Okay, so you can have it with advantage.
Okay.
As you're doing
Wisdom
it because you're doing it as a group.
Okay.
Don't do an Arno.
Don't do an Arno. Wisdom save.
Okay, yeah, that'll be enough. Okay, you all, as things sort of whirl past you, the room starts to sort of catch fire. Everything to try and disrupt what you're doing. You carry on chanting. You sort of kind of hold each other's hands as you say the words. As the waters of the chalice flow, reveal the truth that lies below. In the mirror's grays, reflections clear, guide our path, dispel our fear. Scales of justice balance true, weigh our hearts in light imbue, and so on. As you do this, the sort of visage of the room around you starts to crack, and the reality starts to set through. The real world starts to seep into the dream, and it starts to sort of compress. The nightmare starts to compress above the bowl. As it does, it starts to sort of get sort of smaller and smaller and smaller, and then finally it turns into a sort of pinprick of light that sort of dims out, and a bit of smoke sort of just wafts off into the air.
Hopefully that's nowhere near my ring.
The ring is consumed.
As you do, you see in the bowl a sprouts start coming up from the bowl. I wonder if I can show you this.
Wally.
Oh.
Yeah, so you see 6 sprouts coming up from each of your seeds as they come up. Each of them is a bright and vivid sapling, and round it the engravings and the etchings around the bowl that were once sort of this sort of kind of misty, cloudy, but sort of interlaced with this smoke, seem to be gleaming very in a moonlight, very sort of radiant moonlight. The room around you is filled with this radiant light as the saplings start to sort of grow in front of you. They stop at sort of enough for you to sort of grab one each, to bring back to Dyrelia.
Captain takes a sapling, and leads the charge, so to speak.
Okay. Anything else before you leave the chamber?
Can we take our personal items back from the?
Yes. Well, you would. Yeah. You can have their personal
Yeah.
items back. Yeah.
Yeah. Saren grabs her key.
Lance
yeah.
waits for everybody
Anya
else to
will,
make their way out and picks up the last sapling and looks up and says, "We're better than that. And all that this has shown us is that we can know what we are, but still be better. We are more than you ever thought we were. So kindly fuck off and stay fucked off." And I walk away.
No reply. The bowl, obviously, you need to bring with you, I think, because I think it needs to be. Actually, no. Actually, leave it be. Well, I'm not overcomplicate it. Just leave it be. It's fine. We'll leave it as it is.
Bring it along.
Yeah.
So I've got the sapling in the bowl, and I've just brought the whole thing with me then.
Okay. All right. So you make your way back to the tree, where Dyrelia was. Let me go back. Where are you? There we are. So you go back to the tree. What was, when you last saw it, it's not what it was. 3/4 of it seems to have been consumed by the darkness, but you can see that it is not spreading any further. You see Dyrelia sort of within the roots and the branches intertwined within the tree itself, fully sort of embedded within the tree. You see a bright smile on her face, and tears from her eyes, and she looks at you as you arrive with the saplings, and she says, "You understand that balance is not with good and evil. Balance is within yourself. The balance in your life is not making the same mistakes twice, is learning from your past and being a better person, being better at who you are. You will make mistakes. You will do things wrong. I know this. You know this. But as long as you make every effort to weigh that balance and correct it, then you will have all that you need." As she sort of stays this, there are these little like tendrils of roots sort of dig little holes in and around the tree for you to plant the sapling. She says, "Now finish the ritual, plant the saplings, and cleanse the bowl in the waters."
I step over to the hole that's nearest to the waters, scoop my sapling out and plant it in the hole, and then turn and dip the bowl, immersing it fully, and waving it around so that the waters can flow around it. I then put it out, tip out the water that's in it, and walk back and present it to her.
She can't take it. She's sort of embedded within the tree.
But I can offer it to her and show her.
Yeah. She smiles again and she says, "As you can see, I cannot take the bowl, but you may place it back in the veil chamber for me, and I will try and repair the damage the Whispering Vale has done to this place. The rest of you, please, plant your saplings.
Arno takes his sapling and takes off his ring from the top of it, which the sapling has sort of grown through after he discarded there. Removes it and nods as it's now been imbued with the magical power of granting him advantage to wisdom saving throws. And he plants the sapling in the ground and covers it with a bit of soil and puts the ring back in his pocket.
Okay. Are the rest? Do you want to do anything, or are you just going to do the?
But he's just going to quietly plug his in the hole.
Same.
I take my sapling and I go and find the hole that's kind of furthest from everyone else. And as I'm putting it in, I kind of say a few words to my mother and cover it up with that.
Brother Garden, you just putting that in, or you got anything you want to say?
Yep. Nope. Just puts it in there. He's like, his reverence, nothing particularly personal about it.
Okay, as you do, you put them in. They start to. She closes her eyes, and as you do, in front of you, they start to grow rapidly. The stem turns into branches, which turns into roots. That start sort of like vines, that sort of kind of start wrapping around the sort of parent tree, and start healing it. As they do so, you see the sort of cherry blossom pink come back into the leaves of the Althusis tree. She opens her eyes after it's being repaired, and says to you, "It is done. You have brought balance to the enclave, balance to the Vale. We are forever in your debt. I cannot give you all that you desire, but I can give you the following." So she's going to give you all an inspiration point. Boom, 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 boom. So she's going to inspire. So you all get an inspiration point.
Wow.
She also is going to give you these sort of like, I suppose they're like containers made of some sort of fruit husk come out of the sort of ground, and she provides you with something called the tears of the Veil, and she says to you, I'll explain what they are first. So the tears of the Veil you can drink, and they will give you one of these following properties. If you drink it before a battle, you can have if you knock down on a fail for a death save, gives you a success. On a success, it gives you 2 successes. On a crit success, it gives you you pass. You automatically stand up.
Have you got, just to clarify, have you got the notes of this so you can send it us on?
Yeah, I'll send it on to you. Yeah. Right. So on a fail, nothing happens. On a pass, you get 2 pass. Sorry, on a fail, you get a pass. On a pass, you get 2 passes. On a crit pass, you on a crit fail, nothing happens. So basically, it's a way to sort of a sort of last chance, sort of, so you can get up. You can use it. Sorry, say it again.
Sorry, I was just going to say a crit pass on a death save is revives you with 1 HP anyway.
Oh, is it for 2? I thought it would give you 2 successes.
No,
Who fails for crit fail?
Pass gives you 1 HP.
Crit fails.
Maybe a crit pass is revival with full HP.
Oh well, okay.
Oh,
I'll
So
give you.
good.
I'll give you revival with half your HP. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
revival with half your
Nice.
HP. Okay, so first, let me write that down. Make sure I remember.
But will you?
Let's see. I'm just typing it out.
Rather.
So pass, crit pass, survival, half. Okay. All right. It can also be used to give you an extra action. So this is one or the other. So you can use it once, and it could be one of these things. So it can be used to give you an extra action. You can roll a dice on this. So if you roll the dice, you can either take the one action, or you can roll a dice, and if you get a 6, you get 2 actions. On a 1, yeah. Sorry, no, actually, no. I'm not gonna. I'm overcomplicating it. You get an action. You're just gonna get an action out of it. Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to overcomplicate it. So yeah, you can either have an action out of it. So you can either have the helps you with your death saves. You can have an action. And for your wizardy folk, you can have D3 spell slots, but I'm not sure what's going to be. I'm trying to think what would be good spell slots for, because obviously I don't want to give you full like
always a third level. There's always a third level.
yeah. Okay, so D3 you can have D3 third level spell slots, or
Oh!
Yeah.
Hang on, I was gonna say you can either do that, or you can have like 10, and you can split across how many spell slots you want. So if you want 10, although 10 level 1 spell slots sounds excessive. So you know how like sorcerer points, you have to convert a certain number of sorcerer points equal to the spell slot that you're trying to get back.
Yeah.
Probably work something like that.
I don't know. I'm not a wizardy type. What do you think? What would you prefer?
I mean, Lecky, that's probably
D3.
down. Yeah, I mean, as a cleric, spell slots are always going to be a thing for us. So, I'm just thinking, a third level, yeah, the option to have a third or a second level spell slot when we've burnt them all out would be great. But I don't know what you think would be more valuable, Lecky.
Would be pretty good. I'm trying to think. Is it like Pearl of Power that like lets you have one back, but it comes out as a level lower?
I'm trying to
So that's
remember
like
that
a
one.
one. That's like a one shot thing. It's pretty good if it's got X amount of charges and you just cash that in for whatever level you want.
You can either have it this way, so you can have like D3 and you can roll on it, or
Yeah.
you can just have 2 straight.
Okay.
2
Alright.
straight level 3s if you want them.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
then there's an average value rather than having to like let
Yeah,
chance
rather than like
over.
Yeah,
crash
so
out on a
you can
one.
have 2
Yeah, that
straight
works.
up, or you can, if you want to risk it, you can have the 3 if you want to sort of go for that third.
I like it. If you want to risk it.
If you want to risk it, you want to go for the third.
For a biscuit.
Okay, so you've got your you've got an extra action, you've got your D3 spell slots, level 3 spell slots, level 3.
Guts?
This is single use, yeah?
Yes, but you've got 6 of them between you, so you know.
Oh, we got
So you've got 1 each. So it's up to you
Okay.
how you use them. So you've got 1 each.
Okay.
So you could use them again and just sort of divvy them out. I would say though, you can't the death save ones you would need to do prior to the battle. You can't just take it when you're down, because you're down. So you would have to sort of preempt that and stuff in a big battle. It's up to yourself. Obviously, the spell slots and the action you can just take and do as you want to. So it's up to yourselves.
So for a big bad, you worry about them.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that.
Cool.
She also says to you, I can also provide you with closure. If there is anybody dead or alive you wish to talk to, I can make it so. Just know that I cannot bring them back. I cannot change their fate. I cannot, and you cannot provide anybody who's alive with information about what may happen to them. But you may speak to them if you wish.
Does anybody regret missing, well, a person that died and didn't come back?
I step
Aaron.
forward and say, I think I would be best if I had a chance to talk to someone I failed a long time ago.
Okay. Anybody else want to talk to anybody?
Yeah, Arno absolutely would step forward and, like, in desperation, he's like, I can speak to Cyril.
And
Aaron.
she looks at you and says, "Yes, Master Halfling, you can."
He'll even more and turn back and look at the others. And look back at her and there is no risk.
There is no risk. What I can say is it will be within their dreams. For those who are dead, it will be a past dream. But you will be able to speak to them as you or I can speak.
He falls to one knee, like completely stressed out at the idea of finding out whether his brother is alive or dead.
So that's one thing you have to obviously take into account that you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else needing to talk to anybody or wanting to?
Saren steps forward. I would very much like to talk to my mother.
Dorelia sort of nods her head. And she looks towards Bartholomew. Is there anybody you wish to speak to, Bartholomew?
I'd like to speak to Saren's mother as well. I mean my own. my mother. I think I owe an apology.
Brother Gadden?
Looks at, well, yeah. He's sort of the odd one out here. He doesn't really know what to do or say. He's just twiddling his thumbs, thinking, "You've not really lost anybody."
Doesn't have to be lost. It could just be somebody you wish to talk to.
Yeah, my mum's alive, I hope.
Perhaps an ancestor.
He just looks at the rest of them and says, "I
What?
generally don't." You know who? Actually, this is curious, a bit perverse. I hope you don't mind. But you all talked about Galantra rather sort of reverently. So, dare I ask if it is okay with you all if I dredge her spirit back to just find out what?
Oh God, you're gonna make me be Danny? Okay.
Arno turns to Gadden and then he quickly turns to Lance and Terrible and he says, "We could find Thomas."
I'm happy to do that.
We could try.
I don't know who this Thomas is, but I'm happy to see if he is around.
He was a friend of ours who stepped away, or at least that's what we believe.
Well, as long as it helps you out. Let's find this Thomas chap and see if we can bring you all some level of closure as friends go. I don't need it personally. I've already said my goodbyes. I don't need to say goodbyes either, but me being of the religious persuasion, and he's just kind of like gingerly going to wait in line whilst everybody else is going through and also having like conversations. He'll be the last.
Okay, Tharavel?
Tharavel
I know.
he's kind of conflicted by this this so-called gift that's sort of being given, because there's so many people that he's lost that he wants to speak to. He doesn't really he finds it difficult choosing. So his father, he doesn't know the whereabouts of his mother, Gylus, Salden, Draken, and Galandra. He's actually it's upsetting him. He doesn't really know what to do.
At this point, this is where Gadden steps in, being the kind to sit there and listen to others who grieve. He says, "You look like you need to get something off your chest, and you are actually spoiled for choice as to how to do this. So, if I were you, I would find the greatest measure of comfort in the person that you feel that you did not do the most for in their hour of need. And it is a hard bargain to ask for, with many different way options to consider. The only one you should really focus on is what you will get out of this. Because remember, they are dreaming, regardless of whether they are alive or dead. And so there is no difference in the journey that you will make, the impact in their journey. They are forever in one state of mind. So this is for you, not for them. Remember that. Choose for you.
That doesn't help.
Well then, of course it doesn't help. I'm not here to make the choice for you, but
Dyrelia sort of looks at you and says, "Should I choose for you?"
oh, that is a good shout. I didn't realize that was an option. Why? Yeah. Why don't you let Chance do
Dealer's
it?
choice.
Yeah.
um,
I believe in a thing called destiny.
yeah.
Let it
Yes,
choose.
let the universe decide.
Okay. So we've got Saren's mother. We've got Cyril. That's your brother, isn't it, Arno?
Yep.
Yep. We have Bartholomew's mother.
Mm-hmm.
We have Thomas for Brother Gadden. Are you sure you want Thomas? Like, you don't have to. It's up to you.
He doesn't know who else. He's literally quite a blank slate. This is normally I have characters with a lot of drama. He's the most drama free, so of course he's gonna do it. He's he's good natured that way.
Okay. Lance, you are, I guess, talking to the prince. And Tharaval to be decided. Okay. So, right. I'm also going to give you for your
Level up.
yeah, well, you're all level
Level
up, bar you, Saren, who's already at level 14. The rest of you are a level 14 now. You can up a level.
Amazing.
You're all level
My-
14.
I
But
think I am. Oh no, I'm 13.
yeah, so
Oh,
you'll be
okay.
level 14. You can also have a magic, let's see, ammunition +2, treasure result, magic item, ammunition +2. I'm guessing that's something Tharavel probably might want. And
Not really, because my bow is ammunitionless.
okay, so there you go. Cloak.
Remember, it's the bow from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah, cloak of elven kind. as well as.
I've got one.
So there's another cloak of elven kind going up for grabs.
Oh yeah, no, Gadden's up for that.
Yeah.
Totally up for that.
And obviously, as always, we've got to have some slightly magical trinkets because it's a thing. A seashell, which when left undisturbed, moves 1 inch towards the nearest ocean or sea each day.
Jeez.
That goes along with the shoes that change color. The beer mug that never falls over. And the globe that sort of snows on you when you shake it.
I think I've
Screaming
got
rock.
an upward flowing hourglass as well.
Oh yeah, oh yes, and the rock that.
Oh yeah, I've got the rock. What is the rock?
The rock that screams when you throw it. That was not
That's
being
right.
used yet.
That's the rock.
Absolute waste. Criminal.
I forgot all about the screaming rock.
Okay, so the Darelia sort of asks you to sort of take a seat surrounding the tree. The sort of little sort of seats of grass and flowers sort of kind of appear around the tree.
Before he sits down on the tree, he's gonna look at Arno, and he's gonna be like, I think I'm only talking to him. I don't know, but in case we're all separated, what do we all want to ask Tomas? Like, is he okay? Where is he? Is he fine? Like, is that what we want to know?
I think it would be good to know that he is somewhere safe and at peace. And
Okay.
he's okay.
Okay. And if he's dead, do you want me to just say some rites and like wish him all a happy death?
Yes, I need to know.
Okay.
If he's dead,
And
I'd
Ash.
like to know who killed him because I have a list.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
And
Don't forget the list. Everyone has to remember the list.
and tell him
Hmm.
of Draken's fate and that we are going to reclaim his body if he would like to join us once more.
Okay. I
Okay.
will do that.
All right.
Sitting down there, slightly bewildered.
Okay, so you're all sitting down. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. So you all sit down around the tree, cross-legged, and she asks you to just close your eyes, let the sun bathe on your face, and soon you will be with your chosen person. You sit down on the flowers in front of you and you close your eyes. The warmth of the sun sort of bathes your face and you slowly feel like you're falling asleep. Your eyes open and you're back in the bar again. It's similar-ish bar. It's not the exact bar, but you see a halfling. He's about your age, slightly younger. Was your brother younger or older, by the way? Sorry, younger. Was he younger?
Slightly younger.
Yeah, slightly younger. But he's sitting there, playing with some like nuts that are on a table and looking somewhat down and depressed.
I don't recognize this as a memory, right?
No, it's not a memory.
Am I then in kind of a physical presence?
Yeah, you're, as for all intents and purposes, it's like you're walking through. It's a reality for all, it's a reality.
Okay, I just stand sort of watching for a second. Can I roll insight or something to sort of judge whether this is whether this means he's alive or not?
Yeah, roll me an insight though.
Not 20, baby.
You
Nice.
can tell from knowing his age and when you left him, knowing your age and sort of knowing it's like he's got to be alive. There, the difference seems, he's older. He's the place that you're looking at isn't familiar, so it can't be one that you've dreamt of.
Mm-hmm.
So you're, as much as you can't 100% be sure, you are sure, fairly confident that he is alive, and that this is that's him, and he's with you.
All right. I will. I think I fall to my knees and start weeping uncontrollably for a good sort of half a minute or so.
As you sort of
Just
start
like all this expulsion of emotion.
As you sort of start crying, the halfling sort of looks up and looks at you wide-eyed and says, brother, what are you doing here? What upsets you? Where have you been?
Anna gets up and just embraces his brother and squeezes really tightly and doesn't let go. Just goes, Cyril, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He pats
I
you.
should never left you all those years ago.
Where have you been, brother? Where have you been? We've been worried about you. Oh, he sort of stops and says, okay, I've been worried about you.
I've been looking for you, brother. I had to flee when you last saw me, and I came back and you were gone. I've traveled these lands for years and years, looking for you. Where are you? He says, sort of looking around.
You hear the voice of Dorelia, and she says, he cannot give you that information. I'm afraid knowing his whereabouts is not something he can provide.
Honest palms his fist on the table in frustration.
Your brother says, well, now you're here, how about a drink? And he sort of kind of puts his hands up, and somebody comes over with some drinks. And he says, well, you're back. There's lots of stuff we can do together. There's many things. If we're having a bad time of it, but you're back, and we'll have a really good time. I'm so happy.
Cyril. I don't know how long I have.
What you mean?
I came here to find the truth about you, about whether my quest to find you again is in vain. And I know it is not. I will explain more when I see you again. I would like nothing more than to enjoy a pint with you, laugh together, reminisce, sing, dance, play. But that time is not now. I will find you, Cyril. and we will be together once more. On my life.
Don't. What do you mean? Don't. What do you mean? Don't go. You've just got here. You can't go again.
Arno sort of shakes his head and then he just sort of explodes into another embrace of Cyril and plants a kiss on his forehead and grasps his hand strongly.
Okay.
And he turns his back.
Okay, so you with your insight, I'm not going to tell you where he is, but when you do finally go searching for him, I'll let you have some advantage on trying to figure out where he is based on that roll.
Do I at least see the name of the tavern or hear?
Yeah, okay. The tavern is called the it's called the Pig and Harp.
Pig and Harp. Okay. What does the main bartender look like?
The main bartender, you don't really see other people's faces. I'd say you just sort of more focused on him.
Okay.
Yeah,
they're all sort of blurred.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I will, even if he sort of protests, I'll stop, sort of a moment, but then sort of hang my head and march out of the door of the. It's too much for Arno to be him.
As you sort of you wake up, as you leave the room, you sort of wake up, and you see Dorelius smiling at you, sort of happiness, part sympathy, understanding that you know he at least lives, or are pretty sure that he lives. I'm not going to do the other. Or no, because he wouldn't know. Yeah, just ignore me. Okay, I'll leave that part. Okay, so yeah, so she just smiles at you and then looks over to who's next. Okay, Lance. Again, you sort of take a seat on the flowers. You close your eyes and you find yourself. Is there any preference on when about you want to talk to him? At what age or a certain instance? No? Any preference? Okay. Where are we going to do it? Okay, so you find yourself in the courtyard of the palace, and the sort of armorers and the men at arms are all making ready. You recognize this as the time that you were preparing to sort of make a sortie out with the prince. This was the morning just before the ambush. The prince himself is sort of walking around, demanding things, generally being sort of unpleasant, but when he sees you, he does give you a smile, and it's real. He does sort of, as much as he's a spoilt brat, his love for you is real. And he sort of walks over to you, sort of, you tower over him, and he says, I hope you're ready, Lance. We're gonna defeat, I don't even think we had it, who the enemy was for this battle, but
we didn't specify, did we?
Yeah, I didn't specify. He says we're gonna defeat X people, many foes will fall before my sword, as he sort of swishes it in front of you.
I chuckle and say, how many times have I taught you that war is a democracy? The enemy always have a vote. you shouldn't be so overconfident, or bad things can happen.
Not with you by my side, Lance. You've taught me well. Ha ha ha. And he's sort of kind of flicking his sword around.
Maybe I have done my best, but there are no guarantees, are there? There's never been any guarantees in these things. We can only do our best. And you must always, always remember that there is a risk involved. They are firing arrows, they have swords. They don't want to die either.
He looks at you quizzically, and says, "Not going soft on me, are you, Lance? You're the finest army in the realm. There's no way an arrow is even going to pierce me. Isn't that right, boys?" And the men sort of kind of shout, "Hurrah!" as he sort of shouts out.
I just shake my head and say, life is always full of lessons, and I think you should be paying more attention to the ones that you have still not learnt.
He sort of looks at you with his head cocked slightly and goes, "Maybe over a drink, Lance, after. But I need to prepare." And he sort of looks at you and then sort of starts to walk off. As he does so, he looks back and he says, he looks back and then he comes back to you and he looks around to see that nobody's looking and he says, "I do appreciate you, Lance. Sometimes I don't show it, but you've always been there for me, and I know you always will. Anyway, I need to go," and he sort of walks off.
I just bow my head for a moment and shake it gently, just to myself. And I turn and walk away.
Again, as you walk through the gate of the palace, you wake up, and Dyrelia sort of, again, you have this face of understanding. She sort of kind of watches you wake up. Okay, who's next?
Okay.
Go on, you go.
Saren? Okay.
Yep.
Saren, you walk into the main sort of square of the village. There's a festival going on. There's candles everywhere. There's what are they called? Those lanterns, sort of holding from trees. The village, sorry, the town looks beautiful. Your mother is sort of dancing with your father, and sort of having a few drinks. She looks very happy. She sort of looks over to you and says, "Oh, there she is. Come on, Saren. Let's have a dance and a drink. Come on with your old mum."
I take a deep breath and I walk over and I pull her aside with the pretense of going to get a drink for her and my father. And we sort of get close to where one of the sort of makeshift bars are, and I look her in the eye and go, I'm sorry.
But what do you mean, sorry? You know what? You weren't that late.
Oh, Mother, please. I should never have left when you asked me not to. I should have stayed. And that will be forever on my conscience. But you must know that I am sorry.
She looks at you again quizzically and well, yeah. She sort of kind of tries to think of what you're talking about, and she's like, you know, you're young, you just a young, and you're late. Sometimes no, you never have to be sorry for me, child. I am your mother.
I know it doesn't make sense right now, Mother. I know. But it is something that I have needed to say for some time. And it has kept me awake many a night. But I have to apologize. I have to say I'm sorry. I can't pass up this chance to say and apologize for leaving you.
She looks at you with some tears in her eyes and sort of just embraces you, gives you a massive hug and a kiss on the cheek. She says, oh god, I'm getting slightly emotional thinking about it now. Sorry, and gives you sort of gives you a kiss on the cheek and says, I love you, Saren, and you don't need to apologize to me. Me and your father will always be here for you, and it doesn't matter. You've got a good heart. You're good people, and I'll be proud of you forever.
I embrace her and say, I love you too. And I say, go wait with Father, and I'll bring the drinks over.
Well, she sort of like rubs her eyes a bit and says, "Oh, the drink's got to be not a strong one, please. I think I've had too many."
I nod and smile and watch as she goes over to join my father, and they start dancing again, and I sort of step quietly away from where the bar is to leave, knowing I've said my piece, and she may not understand why in this sense, in this place and time. She may not understand why I've said what I've said, but I have said my piece, and for now, that is going to have to do.
You sort of watch your mother go off dancing with your father, and the music sort of gets slightly louder, and you disappear into the crowd. As you do so, you wake up in front of the tree with Daerelia sort of looking at you with an understanding smile.
I'm grubbing tears from my face before anyone else can see, because they're not allowed to see me cry.
Okay. Bartholomew, I guess it's your next.
Yo.
Okay. So same as before, you sit down on the little carpet of flowers and sort of close your eyes. You wake up and you're coming down the stairs in your homestead, your family homestead, and your mother and father are, your father's sitting at the table as he would, with a ledger, eyeglasses on, sort of going through the items. He's a workaholic, but he's sort of there. Mother's sort of putting food down and sort of busying around. She sort of looks at you and says, "Oh, Barty." I've used that sort of that. "Oh, Bart, come on downstairs now. You need to have your breakfast."
Yeah, and but I'll come down and say good morning.
She said, "No,
That's all.
we've got a new consignment of books coming in. You need to look after them. Your father's just writing up the consignment at the minute. But what do you want for your breakfast?
Oh, I'll just have a kipper. That'd be quite nice.
She sort of puts her hand on your shoulder and smiles and walks over and starts to sort of cook. Your dad sort of looks up and sort of gives you a bit of a wink, and then sort of goes back down and carries on writing.
You know, I was thinking about how you always seem to like reorganizing the books in the store. Never leave them alone for longer than a few weeks. I was reading that library in Taunt has a rather useful classification system. They put them all in order of subject rather than author. Title.
He looks up to you over his glasses and says, "Do you hear that? Subject." What's your mother called, by the way? Sorry.
Oh, Elena.
Do you hear that, Elena? Subject. Have you? Oh, these backward cities. Subject. He sort of laughs at you and says, "Oh, subject," and sort carries on, sort of kind of doing his thing. Your mother comes over with a kipper, puts it down in front of you, and sort of sits down and sort of looks at you in your eyes and says, "So, what is it you have planned for today, then?"
I'll just help out with these books, I suppose.
Okay.
See what's coming in. Get it all organized for you. Take one less thing for you to worry about. Hey.
Just like, with you, I have nothing to worry about, my boy. You've always been a good boy.
Well, suppose. Yeah. That's how I like to be.
Is there anything else you sort of kind of? Are you just gonna? Are you just? Are you? You don't have to if you don't want to sort of kind of embrace the reconciliation or whatever, or you can just sort of if you just want to be a part of the family for a bit and then sort of
just sort of like it sort of took like the wind out of his sails really. Thought that he'd be able to go into it knowing what he wanted to say, but he's just sort of reverted.
Yeah. Okay.
And he sort of like snaps himself out of it a little bit, and he just like looks his mother in the eye, and he's sort of like talking to his dad as well. And he's just saying like, I help out where I can, but you've got the others' help as well. And this, the store and all the lies will just carry on. If anything was to happen to one of us. Wouldn't it? You'll be okay.
He looks at you and goes, What do you mean? Happened to one of us? Is something wrong?
Oh no, not at all. I was just saying. We're a large family, and if someone was to not pull their weight, then the others can help. Okay.
Your dad sort of looks over his reading glasses and says, "It's all right, boy. Don't worry. We know your head's in the clouds sometimes. You're a dreamer. You're not a bookkeeper. We've always known that. Don't fret."
Yes, I suppose. Thank you. And he'll excuse himself and
okay.
head out to the store.
Your mother sort of looks at you and says, "You're not going to eat your breakfast then?"
It'll keep.
And she says, "Oh, typical. All right, no problem. I'll keep it warm for you. It'll be here when you get back." And she sort of looks at you and says, "What's she gonna say?" what you gonna say? She says, if you're worried about that book, your father doesn't know. Worry not.
Ooh.
Your father doesn't know. And it's our little secret. And she sort of gives you a bit of a pinch on the cheek and winks.
And he'll smile and nod and places his hand into his pocket and just thumbs it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mum.
So you sort of, as you're sort of, you walk up the stairs again, and you wake up in the garden, with Dyrelia with her smiling at you as you wake up. All right, we've got 2 left. Brother Gadden.
No, Tharaval, I'm lost.
Okay. All right, Tharaval. Okay, this might be a slightly emotional one. Okay, so how are we gonna play this?
A violin, quartets, maybe, to start off with. An overture of, woodwinds.
Okay.
And then the piano.
You you walk into the Babbling Bat, and you sat at the table. You see Solden, Draken, and Galandra sat there, drinking.
Fuck.
Has Mav gone mute, or
No?
are you waiting for me? Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I thought I thought there was an extension.
No.
Ooh. Tharaval's just overwhelmed with who he's seeing in front of him, and very out of character for him. He just runs over to them and gives each of them a big hug. Almost in a sort of needy sort of way. It's not like calm, or it's literally just like squeezing them. Really, really strong hug.
I'm trying to think when it was the last. So they said, he's a bit keen. The Solden's like, he's a bit keen. And Draken's like, looking at you oddly, like, why are you hugging us? And Galandra's sort of like trying to move away from you slightly, in a sort of in a weird, like, what are you doing?
Sort of, he's Tharaval sort of struggling to sort of hold his emotions in. He's so happy to see them, but he can feel it's very noticeable that there's he's welling up and there's tears coming to his eyes. But he's kind of laughing and smiling at the same time. He sort of tries to sort of collect himself, and he says, I'm sorry, forgive me, friends. It is just a good day, and it is very good to see your faces. He sort of sits down across from them, and asks them what adventures lie ahead.
sort of Galandra pulls up a stool and sort of sits down, and they all just sit there and talk about what's about to happen, where they're going. I'm trying to think. They're on their way to it's I want to say Silkside, which is not. Oh yeah, it's just sort of towards the no, because Val came into Silkside. It would have been Falcross. Oh yes, you know, you're talking about, you know, their you know, Draken trying to punch that shark, and you know, the whole sort of thing with Guileless, and you know, Salden says he understands that you had to do what you had to do, and Draken sort of says agrees, and saying they're making their way to, you know, we need to make ready for going to the Temple of Marduk in the morning, and that you know, we have to, I can't remember where, make ready for the banishment of Huthway, with this cult growing within the lands, and we need you less drunk, Ranger. It seems you've had too many eels. As they all laugh.
Tharaval, whenever he sort of hears the mention of the Temple of Marduk, he sort of becomes very somber again, because he knows this memory. He knows what happens next. And he knows he can't do anything to change the outcome. So from that, he says we should be on our way. He hugs Galandra and Draken again. He turns to Salden. He sort of looks him up and down. And again, he sort of gives him a hug. And whispers in his ears that you were the best of us. And then sort of pulls away, taps him on the shoulder, and goes to leave.
As you're sort of walking out, Galandra stands and says, Tharaval will always be there for you. All of us. When you need us, we'll be there.
Tharaval just gives a sort of small, smile and nods, and then walks out.
And as you walk out the door of the Babbling Bat, you awake in the garden with your with Dyrelia sort of looking at you with sadness in her eyes, but happiness that you've been able to at least see your loved ones once more. Okay, finally, Brother Gaddon. You close your eyes, and you find yourself in a tent. And the tent is festooned with large sort of throw pillows, those ones you sort of sit on. It's got books everywhere and sort of candles and things. Sitting in front of you is a man, and he's bearded, and but it's quite well kept, and he's meditating on top of these sort of sort of, he's on these pillows with his books, and there are sort of candles and things sort of kind of levitating around him and stuff, but he's just sitting there sort of meditating.
And he's just appeared in this place. He's not walking in anywhere.
No, you just sort
right?
of, you just find yourself, you're awake and you're looking at this sort of man sort of in this tent.
The brazenly terminally delightful individual that he is, as soon as his eyes fling open. You are you Thomas?
I just say, where are we minutes? I've forgotten. God, what was the date? What was the deity? God, I've forgotten his name. It's the name of the bloody weapon. His bloody staff as well. Something balanced. What was the name of the? Ogma. That was it. Yeah, Ogma. Yeah. Okay. All right, Ogma. Yeah. So the eyes sort of open, and he says, "Hello, Brother Gadden. Thomas, unfortunately, is not here. You can speak to me if you wish."
Oh no. Is he okay?
He is. He's not. But he's safe.
What?
So he is and he isn't okay. Who am I speaking with?
He sort of looks at you and says, a man of the cloth should know who Ogma is. Surely.
Can I do a history check to see if he does? Because I know him, but I don't think Gadden does.
Yeah. Give me a history check. Yeah.
Let's just see. Oh, I should be alright with this because I'm a Sage.
Yeah, so you know of Ogma, and you know, what you'll understand is you might not know a lot about his sort of doings. Well, no, maybe within the library you maybe picked up on. So Ogma is the creator of Freya. He created the land but didn't seed it. Bahamut seeded it with the Dragonborn. So Ogma created Freya, and sort of basically as something to do.
No, the only reason why, because I know the history of Ogma, I just didn't know what you wanted to give to Gadden because he's not quite fully. He would have traveled around. I just don't know whether you've annexed or redacted stuff.
No, I'm happy for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and he goes, "Oh, begging your pardon, your eminence. I'm experiencing this as a dream, so therefore my actual corporeal self, if you will, isn't quite attuned to the divine powers of this land as it would be. But I think, you know, I'm not from this plane, don't you?"
He does. He sort of smiles and says, "Yes." And it was because of that I intercepted your dream. I was curious, what brings you to this land, my boy?
Something along the lines of a desperate plea for help, and I just happened to be there. But also, I mean, you know, my people are fine. They can handle their shit. I'm sure that, you know, a person like me, devout to the all-encompassing feeling of goodness, would always be like willing to help. So yeah, I'm kind of here, you know. Don't mind my motivations as such. I don't really have any. I'm just here. I just want to do a good job and do good things.
Ogma sort of nods his head and says, I knew you'd be interesting. I knew you'd be interesting. Says, Thomas is alive. He has had many trials. He is in contact with me now and again through his staff, but I cannot provide you with his whereabouts because he does not want to be found yet.
Okay.
I can though give you and your companions comfort in knowing that he lives. He is here, just not here.
Did he say why he doesn't want to be found? I'm not prying into the business. I think it's just important context because I don't necessarily want to be like, adding another list for us to say we need to go find Thomas because he may be connected to the corruption in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, you are keeping an eye on him, but you never know.
He says to you, fear not. Thomas will find you when he needs to be found.
Okay. And if I cast a divination spell, it wouldn't be a waste of my time. It will be a waste of my time. He'll just come to us when he comes to us, right?
He smiles, nods his head, and says, "Indeed."
I'm a person on the path of least resistance, but maximum good. So I think I'll leave it at that. But it was good. This is very weird. You're the first. Well, I don't know if I can count my dreams and my prayers to Bahamut, but you're actually the first of the deities that I've had interactions with. You're quite pleasant, I have to say. The scriptures do you no justice.
He looks at you and says, "Should you need a new patron, my door is always open." And the tent flap sort of comes open.
You tempt me, but I am devout. I am walking the path of the light. The Legion asked for me. I answered the call. Thank you, Your Eminence.
That they did, and you will serve them well, Brother Gaddon, and you will serve the others well too. I will let you go. Thank you for entertaining me.
And thank you for looking after Thomas. I know he means a lot to the party.
He nods his head and then sort of puts himself back into a meditation stance and carries on meditating. Okay, you leave the tent with the man behind you. The reference to the tent was where Thomas first met Ogma many moons ago when he came about. So if you know, you know. And you wake up in front of the tree, and Dyrelia is looking at you, smiling, and says, "So, how was Thomas?"
Thomas does not want to be found. But I met somebody else that was rather interesting. So, yeah. He'll be fine though. Don't worry about him. You know this, Darelia. Yeah, it's fine. He was good. This is an interesting experience. He's kind of like slightly confuddled.
Okay.
Doesn't know what to say.
Yeah. So, she says to you, I think it is time you make your you make your leave now. I have much to do, much taint to fix within the sanctum, and know that should you need the Dreamwalker's help in the future, you have to all you have to do is dream and let us know, and we will be there for you.
Oh, we turned off the defenses on the Dreamwalkers. Are you gonna be okay? Or do you want us to turn it on before we leave?
Oh yeah, turn the switch off when you leave. Just do the switch. Yeah, she sort of laughs and says, "There is a reset lever. If you could just press that when you leave, the Sentinels will go back to their initial stance. That would be great. I'd be very grateful, please."
Actually, there is one thing that we probably should ask before you do go. Oh, we do go, and it is so the ball is now in its rightful place, and I mean, it just looks at everybody else. I'm missing a piece of the puzzle, so correct me if I'm wrong, but do we know how the ball left the Enclave in the first place and how it got infected by the corruption?
Yeah, it was stolen by the Veil Walkers.
The Veil Walkers. Okay.
Yeah, and chap's name who I can't remember, begins with an M, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, they stole it. There was basically stole it, took it, and you've returned it.
Okay, fine. Okay, so in that case, then I guess our job sort of here is done, and then our next task is to find the next level of corruption that we need to fight. I don't know. He just looks a little bit like, do we need to ask? Like he looks at everybody else as if to say, do we need to ask?
Fucking now, innit?
Yeah.
That was the next job on the list.
Yeah, it's your next job, Draken.
Okay, fine. I don't think is there anything. Well, do we explain the problem about Draken?
You can do. I don't think she's going to have a lot for you. You know where he is effectively. You know where Kiamet Red Scale is.
Okay, cool. In that case, he doesn't say anything more, and sort of like just looks at the rest of the party and he kind of bows his head at Irelia and says, "It's been a pleasure, very much a pleasure. This place is a haven, and I hope it stays that way."
She smiles and she says, "You may return." She sort of she says, "Pick up one of these pebbles. Should you need to enter the Enclave and not be set upon by our sentinels, use these to pass through unhindered."
Oh, he's like he's kind of like wiggling as if to say like, "Oh, we're getting VIP passes."
Laminates,
yeah, laminates.
Okay,
cool. Right. So anybody else want to do anything, say anything before you leave?
No, all good. Oh, actually, he'll probably tell. He'll tell. He'll turn around and talk to Anna and Barty and Lance and say, "Well, Ogma's looking after Thomas. Thomas doesn't want to be found, and when he does, well, he'll show his face when we need him, or when he's needed. And he's good, if that's what you want to know."
I just nod and say, as long as he's well.
Yeah.
It's more than we could be sure of beforehand.
Yeah.
You'll see Arno with like slightly reddened eyes, like he's been crying, but for not the first time, but he's a lot less stern than he was before. Like he's found peace. By the way, we didn't see each other's
no
these bits, did we?
No.
And he'll say, "My brother is alive. He's alive."
That's
and
great.
He'll just he wouldn't smile, but maybe the corner of his mouth sort of goes up in kind of a smile of disbelief.
Well,
he just
good.
feels like a lot of the burden has been lifted from him.
I just put my hand on his shoulder and say, "So that's 2 names I don't have to add to my list then. Whoever, if something would have happened to your brother."
Arno just nods.
The end of emo Arno?
Oh no, he's still gonna be
Emo
around for a bit.
Arno's dead.
Vanquished.
It's like Spider-Man 3.
Do the dance.
Okay. Well, I guess there's no point in carrying anything else on because we're sort of got to move on to. I'm guessing the next sort of places to track down the body of Draken, which is going to be your next thing, which means I can. We can maybe do some actual dungeon crawling. Done a lot of theater of the mind. So yeah.
Theater
Emo
of the
stuff.
mind. Theater of the mind.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Nice one. So everybody's level 14. If you can note down, also you've got a pebble that will give you access to the enclave when needed. You also have.
Post it in the loot chat.
Yes.
In Discord,
please.
please.
I will do that.
And then I'll have a look afterwards.
Could you add in the Tears of the Veil as well? I can
Yeah.
add it onto the
So we've
sheet.
got 3
Oh,
level 3
Tears of
spells,
the
crit pass,
Veil.
and then an action as well. And then you have the. I will give you one more magic item, I think. Let's see. Let's go for that. Magic item, ever smoking bottle, whatever that is.
Ooh,
Kinky.
that one's a good one. I enjoy that one. That technically is fog in a cup.
Okay, you've got fog in a cup. You have a cloak of elven kind, and ammunition +2, if that's going to be of use to anybody.
Really?
Is it bad that you talked about a fog in a cup and my first image was Zed coming out of the tear gas booth in Don't Please Academy 3?
That
was fun.
Yeah.
And
I was just thinking that.
oh yeah, and you've got your seashell that will sort of move an inch towards nearest ocean each day, which is that's a thing, I guess. All right, there you go. And that's it for tonight, I guess. We've had a lot of people watching tonight, so I really appreciate that, everybody. It's great. Appreciate it. For tonight, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been sorry. Conrad as Arnold Jerkel.
Good night, everyone.
Michael as Tharvel Eldon.
That was an unexpectedly emotional evening.
We got Jace as Brother Gaddon.
That wasn't Tears for Fears.
We have Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Remember to call your mum. Fuck's sakes.
Marcus Lance.
Let's get out there and twat something.
And Vic as Saren Sanguine.
Doodle bit.
Bye, everybody.